Today I'm here with actress Esther Slater, who's just finished up filming the role of St Bernadette in EWTN's upcoming film, The Message of Lourdes, and I'm going to be asking her a few questions about being an actress. Hello Esther, nice to have you here. Thank you for doing this with us today. So, first question, what made you want to be an actress?
Well, it was my brother who started it all off, really. He was rehearsing for a musical theatre, and I saw him and I thought, I want to do that. Yeah. So I was then part of that, and that was the birth of my love. But the thing that sort of kept me going in it was, I think the world can be quite a lonely place sometimes, and I think, well, for me anyway, the arts can play a big part in connecting people. I think stories are so powerful and we can learn so much from them. And
is it sort of like having a family as well with with the people that you work with and act with, sort of
and all across the world.
Community? Yeah,
definitely.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that sounds amazing. So they tell me that around 300 actresses initially applied for the audition. So what made you choose to audition for the role of St Bernadette?
Wow, I didn't know there were that many. That's amazing.
So the statistic is.
Yes. Well, I originally applied because I thought that I was quite a good fit for the description. I have long, dark hair, I'm short, and I look about 14. But when I started diving into her story, I thought, wow, this girl has been through so much. She was so interesting, and I really connected with her.
You liked the sort of person that Bernadette was, and you connected. And did you watch the film, The Song of Bernadette?
I did, yes.
I love that movie. It's a beautiful movie. Yeah, and you do actually look a bit like her. I was thinking that's a bit uncanny. So yeah, no, that's wonderful. So how did you prepare for the role of Bernadette?
I did a lot of research.
Including the film?
Yes. Yeah, I bought a couple of books on Bernadette, one of which actually had some letters in there that she'd written from her later life, and that gave me a real sense of her personality and her point of view, which was really invaluable.
And did you find it sort of easy to slip into that role, or was it challenging to get into her head, as it were?
I think the more that I sort of researched and understood her, the more I started to become Bernadette. It was a wonderful experience. I really enjoyed it.
Lovely. So did you just look at past films of St Bernadette for inspiration, or did you just sort of know within yourself how you were going to play her?
Yes, so I'd watched the Song of Bernadette. But I wanted to be careful not to mimic. I didn't want to just recreate another film. I wanted to bring my own truth to it. Yeah.
And what did you find most difficult about playing St Bernadette?
The weather, I think.
Were you filming on Dartmoor, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that explains.
Dartmoor in winter is not kind.
I can imagine. It was very, very cold up in Dartmoor this year as well, wasn't it?
Rolling.
Rolling.
Action. What's the model on the face? And cut. Okay, great.
Oh yeah.
Well done. Okay.
And what did you find like difficult, I suppose, like in terms of becoming Saint Bernadette? Like, what about her did you find difficult to imitate or difficult to reproduce in your own acting?
I think it was that still quietness, and confidence that she has, especially when she's being interrogated. Right. I mean, she was so confident in her beliefs and what she'd seen that it didn't matter what they were telling her, because I mean they were quite brutal. They were not nice.
Name and age?
Subaru Bernadette. I'm 14 years of age, sir.
Do you intend to continue going to the grotto like this every morning?
Yes, sir. I promised the lady, and I shall go for another 12 days.
Your lady, my poor child, does not exist. She's merely a figment of your imagination.
I thought that too at first, and I rubbed my eyes, but now I am certain.
It's a good answer. Like her stillness was, yeah, definitely, especially like in any film about saints or about, you know, martyrs. You always admire most their steadfastness, I suppose, and what they believe, like just completely unafraid. That's must have been difficult to sort of try and translate that in your acting and everything. So during the film and in the course of the apparitions, Bernadette had to endure a number of high-ranking officials of Lourdes interrogating her. And how do you think she handled it, and how did you portray it?
I think she coped incredibly well with that. I mean, she was sort of beaten down.
She was very young.
She was, yeah, and really, she was ill and frail, and she was just a little girl.
Yeah. And she was, I suppose she was from a very poor family, sort of a peasant family almost. So, you know, for her, the intimidation of the guards and, you know, the authorities sort of threatening her and pushing her, you know, any other child I could imagine would sort of cripple or buckle under that pressure. So that's quite an amazing thing. So was it difficult to play your part at the apparition site when the actress playing Our Lady was filmed at a different time and in a different studio?
Actually, I think for me, no. It was, I think it was actually quite a blessing, that focus, which Bernadette was focused on her. Nothing could distract her or take her out of that, that ecstasy.
It's beautiful. Yeah. Must have been difficult. I couldn't have done that. Well done. So how did you find playing the lead in front of a full cast and crew and working with the director?
It was fantastic. Everybody was so lovely. I think we all worked really well as a team. It was, everybody just welcomed me, and it was lovely.
And the whole experience was good?
It was, yeah.
How long did it take, the whole filming process?
When did we start? We started in October, I think. And then the last filming we did was in March.
I'm counting in my head.
Yeah, you do the maths.
Yeah, so right over the winter months as well.
Yeah, we had a bit of a break. We had a break sort of over Christmas and that.
And then continued on. Well.
Yeah. I would like to say though that working with our director Stefano was wonderful. It was very collaborative, and he knew what you wanted, and that was fantastic. But if we had our own creative ideas, we could come forward.
Lovely. Yeah, which I suppose is what every actor wants.
Definitely,
to be able to have some input. And, you know,
it worked as a team, and that was nice.
That's very nice to hear. So what did you personally take away from being Bernadette?
I took away a lot of confidence.
Yeah?
Yeah, not only in my career, but in my faith. I think working with other people who believe the same as you really, it's empowering. And it really cemented a few things for me. And it's ended up playing a big part in my journey with God and my relationship.
And I think it's wonderful that you were able to work with a purely Catholic film network, you know, because that's sort of not done. And it must have been a really nice experience to feel among friends, as it were, or people of like mind, whilst also doing what you're passionate about, which is acting. It must have been really nice. So what do you hope viewers of the film will take away from watching?
I hope they take away the sense of her courage. That she can that she stood up to the bullies, I guess, and she didn't waver. I think that taking that confidence that no matter what they're facing at the moment, you know, it is going to get better, and it will. You will get through it, and I think if people do believe, then it's knowing that God will never leave them. That yes, you will go through hard times, but He will give you what you need in that moment, to get through it.
That's a nice answer. So what is it about St Bernadette and the Message of Lourdes that you think is relevant for today?
think Bernadette is the patron for the ill, and you know, we've just had the pandemic.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, who could forget?
Topical,
Yeah. But she sort of gave a message of hope that although there is illness, that there is still greatness, and you can live past it, and there is hope for a better world, for a better life.
I think what you were saying as well about her being very courageous in the strength of sort of attack on her faith and attack on her belief, you know, that's also a good message for young people today, young women, young girls, you know, as a young Catholic woman, you know, it's nice to have role models who stay strong and stay brave in the face of adversary, especially when it comes to faith, because obviously the world we live in now, faith isn't so, you know, central to people's lives. So it's nice to have alternative media, as it were, where we can have some of our heroes displayed, you know. That's a really lovely thing. So what do you think, why do you think now is the perfect time for the film to come out?
You know, she's still so relevant, and it wasn't that long ago that it happened. I mean, 140 years ago, you know, it shows that God's still alive, and I think we all need to be reminded of that. After being through such a tough time, that to have that brought to our at the front of our minds.
You're right. And do you think that actors and actresses have a particular responsibility in society to set examples?
I think we do, yeah. I think as a business, we're in the public eye a lot, and you know, we are what people turn to for comfort or relaxation or family time, and I think we can really use that to set a good example.
I was thinking about this the other day actually, and I was speaking to my mother about it, and I was saying, you know, what is the single most sort of large influence on young people at the moment? And it's media, do you know, like television, films, social media and all of this kind of stuff. And I think it is really important to have positive role models, you know, for people to imitate. People do imitate celebrities, and they do imitate actors and actresses, and they do hold them up. And I think if you have films and movies that are full of sort of, you know, negative things, you know, like I won't go into detail, but you know, that's what people are going to imitate, and that's what people are going to hold up as sort of good or right or virtuous in some ways. And I think, you know, that may be for some people, but it's not for everyone. Some of us do want to see portrayals of people living a Christian lifestyle or a Catholic lifestyle, because, you know, we have to have sort of people to look up to as well. So I do think that's very very important, and I'm really glad that you're doing that. That's wonderful. I can't wait to see the film. So thank you so much for doing this interview with us today, and hopefully we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been wonderful.